Prince Anania Kerwegi Akera, Modernize Uganda Farming. Akera did modernize Uganda farming. He was also one of the Acholi political leaders who welcomed the 1958 election in Uganda. At that moment, he said, Acholi used to raise their children through agricultural activities. He wanted Acholi to have agricultural implements so that they can continue raising their children and feeding the orphan. Another politician at that time, 𝗐𝗐𝗿𝗄𝗏, a tough-talking political leader, predicted war against white men if independence is not achieved. And he said, enough is enough. Another politician who accepted the 1958 election was 𝗔𝗸𝗲𝗵𝗏. He nominated himself with the symbol of a lamb. He said, lamb is a light which is going to lead Acholi to acquire more knowledge. And he wants that education alone is not enough. You have to combine knowledge from birth with your education to achieve something. Without education, without the knowledge from birth, you cannot go further. They were giving us warning that we have a lot of our people who are highly educated. They have the education, they have degrees upon degrees, but they don't have the knowledge from birth. Some of them abandon the knowledge from birth. Those men and women are just like a log that is thrown into the sea, and that log thinks that it will turn into a crocodile. I remember when I visited 𝗐𝗏 at his home in London, he told me that, son, education without knowledge from birth is useless. Anania Kerwegi Akera was born on the 22nd of September 1914. He started his primary school in 1917 at Odongo Primary School, and later he went to 𝗏𝗏𝗏 Primary School. In 1933, he joined Gulu High School, and in 1937 to 1940, he was a student of Busoga College, Mwiri. He was a talented man. He served as a head prefect. He joined Makerere College, where he met fellow students. Some of them later became president. He met people like 𝗔𝗸𝗲𝗵𝗏𝗏. They were sharing rooms. He used to help Nyerere with English. And Nyerere used to help him, teach him Swahili and German. Nyerere later became the president of Tanzania. Before completing his degree, the colonial government sent him to Kitgum, East Acholi, so that he could initiate a high school. But because there was only one primary school in Kitgum at that moment, he abandoned the mission. There was only one primary school in Kitgum, at 𝗨𝗴𝗍, Kitgum Primary School at 𝗨𝗴𝗍. He then became a headmaster. He was busy training students so that they could join high school. He taught at Gulu High School. Among his students was the prominent Ugandan president, Dr. Apollo Milton Obote, Anglican Archbishop Janani Luwum, people like Wilson Lutara and 𝗍𝗵𝗍𝗶𝗏. Some people used to think that 𝗍𝗵𝗍𝗶 is a Muganda, but 𝗍𝗵𝗍𝗶 is an Acholi. He had love for education. He was one of the visionaries in Acholi land who thought that we can be better through education if we educate our children, if we give them opportunity to become someone. But at the same time, they insisted that in order to achieve what we want, you have to maintain and you have to keep the knowledge from birth. Because without the knowledge from birth, you may have so many degrees. You'll be singing hallelujah in churches. That is not going to help you. That is not going to help us. And that is what the visionary of yesterday differs the visionary of today in Acholi land. Later, he joined Buwalazi Teacher Training College in Mbale. After the Second World War, he resigned from teaching profession in protest about low pay within the Ministry of Education. Welcome to Wangoo. Don't forget to subscribe so that you don't miss your daily source of information on Uganda. Let me be clear and let's get started. Prince Anania Kerwegi Akera is the son of 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 and 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 insisted that Akera should go for education. That is the only way to lift his people. He wanted his son to take education very seriously because he thought that is the way he could lift up his people. And to be honest, he was right. He knew that without proper education, Acholi will go nowhere. And Anania Kerwegi Akera lived his father's dream. His father and my grandfather were the first Acholis to be baptized between 1906 to 1908. There were a few of them. Those of you who know Gulu town well, we have a street 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 Street in Gulu. We have 𝗙𝗿𝗿𝗵𝗏𝗏 Street in Gulu. I had rumors sometimes back that some of our councillors want to remove the street names of important Acholis, elders who mean something to us, and replace it with their name. That would be a fatal mistake. Let me repeat, that will be a fatal mistake. Those street names were given in honor of those who defended Acholi land, protected Acholi land. even before we were colonized. So, be careful. Don't destroy the image of our elders. We want to keep their memories alive. History is worth holding on. Akera later joined Makerere University. He had the privilege to meet people like Nyerere, as I said before, of Tanzania. He also learned his Swahili and German. And then this man became the president of Tanzania. Nyerere joined Makerere after Tanganyika was transferred from German East Africa to British East Africa, when the Germans were defeated during the First World War. The world is a very small place. Akera and Nyerere shared a room. Akera is a celebrated teacher, politician, and a leading Uganda farmer. You see, when we were growing up, this man at his farm, Lakwatomer farm, was producing a lot of tobacco. And he was supplying 30% of tobacco in the entire Uganda. And he was one of the richest men in Acholi land when we got independence. He had his love, admiration of Nyerere. They were friends who met at Makerere. And Anania Kerwegi Akera was a die-hard UPC supporter. I still remember when I was young, we used to visit his farm. Akera was also a leading dairy farmer. In Northern Uganda. As I was growing up and growing older today, I kept asking myself, why we didn't take the blueprint of farming success in Lakwatomer farm and use it to improve farming in northern Uganda. It keeps reminding me that there is something wrong in the way we think and the way we approach the success of individuals in our society. Our eyes does not see. Our nose does not smell. Success. And our mindset is derailed because when one person is successful in Acholi land, we all want to destroy it. And the few usually want to cause confusion. We all remember Akera very well. When he quit teaching, he fell in love with farming. He bought many tractors and had a lot of people working at his farm at Lakwatomer farm. If you know that name, Lakwatomer farm, we used to make jokes that the person who was keeping the cow, who was supposed to take care of the cow, he got drunk and he was sleeping under the tree. Now instead it was the cow who was taking care of the person who should have taken care of the cow. That's why they call it Lakwatomer farm. Lakwat got drunk. And today we are drunk with nonsense too. There were a lot of people working at his farm. And it was not only Ugandans, but some of them were even coming from Democratic Republic of Congo, Southern Sudan. Those workers were drawn from Democratic Republic of Congo and South Sudan. His farming venture was so profitable. And believe me, his bank account at that moment was second to that of the Roman Catholic Church in Northern Uganda. Something that attracted the colonial government to initiate investigation to find out how he acquired those wealth and the source of his fortune. As I said before, our kindness as the people of Acholi land always turn into weakness. It returns into the weakness. The final blow to Lakwatomer farm was when the NRM took over. They went to his farm. They stripped him. They looted his farm of cattle, agricultural stock, machineries. Everything that the man worked for was taken away from him in a day or minutes. He applied for a 1.5 billion death claim compensation. They promised to pay him, but unfortunately, the man died without seeing that 1.5 billion payment. Lakwatomer farm is struggling like all the Acholis who went to the camp and came back from the camp. Let me be honest with you. As I said before, if we don't embrace knowledge from birth, we are going nowhere as Acholis. Remember, when you throw a log into a sea, that log never turns into a crocodile. That log never turned into a crocodile. Thank you for listening. And don't forget, I will be back.